Hello, my name is Johnny Judoka and welcome to the video. Today, I'm going to do something I've been meaning to do, but was really nervous about, and that is explain what in the world happened to Johnny Judoka in 2025. So, for those that have been keeping up with me, you guys know that I have schizoaffective bipolar disorder. I also have obsessive compulsive disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder. So, during 2025, I suffered from probably the worst insomnia I've ever even heard of in my life. Typically, if you go without sleep for about 2 to 4 days, you start hallucinating. On 2 separate occasions in 2025, I went without sleep for 20 days straight. And some people can be like, well, what if you get a little bit of sleep here and there? You need to have consistent sleep for at least 6 to 9 hours a night. Every night for a couple of days before it's consistent, and so that your brain can heal. Sleep is really important because it doesn't heal your brain, it helps heal your body. So on multiple occasions, because of med changes and withdrawing from medication, I had probably the worst psychosis I've ever experienced. So in the end of 2024, I was on a medication called clozapine. It is the strongest antipsychotic on the market. It is really powerful, and it sort of is for sedating people who are really aggressive and violent. So I was on 400 milligrams of that. That's a lot of clozaril. So what ended up happening was in November of 2024, I ended up having toxic levels of clozapine in my system. I don't know how it happened. I was doing blood work every month, and suddenly my white blood cell count was nearly 0. And after that, I had to withdraw from the medication cold turkey. I was having episodes. I was about to get violent. Not that I'm trying to be violent, but I was losing my mind. I used my coping skills. And then I couldn't sleep for the whole 16 days I was there in the hospital. And then after that, another 4 days. And I kid you not, whenever I left the hospital, I started hearing things, I started seeing things, and I started having incredibly powerful delusions. I had this delusion that my friend from high school, I've talked about her on the channel before, that I was in love with, that she was a member of the US military and was trying to get me to marry her. And I was talking to her in my head. I thought she was in my heart. I thought she loved me. And I was texting a number that did not have a owner, and I was walking around doing things because they were angels around telling me to do this, telling me to do that, so I could be with Rebecca. And when I went to a hospital shortly after, I'll explain that part in a second. I thought that I heard her in the hospital calling my name. So at the end of that period, I ended up losing. I had a psychotic break. I don't really care how embarrassing this is because this is really important for people to know that psychosis is real. I stripped myself naked. I went down to the street and I ended up losing my mind. And what ended up happening was police got me. I wasn't a danger to myself or anyone else, but I ended up going to the hospital because I had a seizure, and then I was having thoughts to hurt myself. So fast forward to 2025, I spend the whole year looking for the right medications. Seroquel, Depakote. We found a medication that works for my OCD and depression, which is Pristique. It's an SNRI, so it wouldn't make me manic, and it does help me sleep. And after that, I couldn't fall asleep. I was on heavy amounts of Seroquel. I was on the max dose of Seroquel. I was on Depakote, and I ended up not being able to sleep. I was having hallucinations. I would see like a star in my ceiling. I would see shadows. I would hear people say things or do things. And I want to take a moment to be like, there are some spiritual things that I've experienced while psychotic that I won't say is real, but it definitely makes me think about the fact that a lot of people who have schizophrenia, when they see visions or hallucinations, they think it's part of the spirit world. And I believe some of that, not all of it, but some of it, because of the things I've experienced. I had a vision when I was at the emergency room, and that was a really powerful experience, but it was also probably because I was withdrawing from all that clozapine, and it was a result of the psychosis. You should not want to be in psychosis. I repeat that. You shouldn't want to be in it just because you want to see cool stuff. That's not how it works. Most of the hallucinations I experienced were pretty tame compared to demons and horrible things that people go through. So at the end of 2025, actually 4 months ago, I went to a hospital because I hadn't slept, and a previous hospital was giving me unhealthy amounts of PRN Ativan to sleep and for anxiety. I'm talking about like 2 Ativan a day, maybe multiple times a day. That's a lot of Ativan. And because of that, they didn't give me Ativan out of the hospital, so I was withdrawing from the Ativan, which is a benzodiazepine. It's the same class of medication as Klonopin, Valium, or Xanax. And I was withdrawing off that Ativan, so I couldn't sleep. And then after that, I tried to go to the hospital, and I ended up attempting suicide because I couldn't sleep, and I was just tired of dealing with all this stuff. I didn't mean to, but I had to catch myself. So at the end of 2025, in September, I go to a hospital, and I am losing it at this point. I'm functional. I try to pretend I'm okay. I'm hearing things. I'm seeing visions on the ceiling, hallucinations on the ceiling. I'm hearing voices that aren't there. And I'm not proud to say this, but I ended up assaulting a nurse. I ended up putting them in a chokehold because I was literally out of the magnetized doors in the hospital. I busted out every single one of them. I'm a big guy. I was even bigger whenever this was in September. So I was blasting the doors open by sheer psychotic willpower. And I ended up accidentally, and I mean this to 100%, I fell the wrong way. I busted open. He ended up in my car, and I just instantly went to a chokehold, and then it was too late. I already was seen doing the crime. So I ended up going to jail for 4 months. And during that time, I wasn't able to do the things I was normally able to do to cope, music, art, anything. I was able to draw a little bit, and that was really helpful. I got on all the right medication. My blood pressure medication, my thyroid medication, my cholesterol medication, and my antipsychotic, mood stabilizer, and antidepressant. All of those things worked, and for 4 months, I slept without a sleep aid, without a nightmare med. And this is the clearest I've ever been. Yes, I'll still get hypomanic. Yes, I still get anxious. But it's nowhere near how horrible 2025 was. 2025 wasn't necessarily the worst year of my life. It was the hardest year of my life because of all the things I've experienced. During that time, I became more grounded in my faith. I mean, in jail, I listened to Christian podcasts, and that's what helped me. But I realized there's parts of my faith that I had to compromise because of my experience with mental illness. Like parts of my sexuality, I have to just accept that these two things are conflicting, but that's the only thing I can do. So I just wanted to let you know that I am doing genuinely okay. I'm genuinely okay. I'm doing a lot better than I used to. I'm feeling a lot better. I just want to let you know that I was gone for a while, but I'm back. I'm making content regularly, and I will continue to make content regularly. And I want to make good content for you. I want to edit. I want to create impactful videos. I want to make it look good, and I want to make a lasting community. So already, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. It means a lot. If you're new to my channel, my name is Johnny Judoka, and I make mental health content, gaming content, anime content, and sometimes jiu-jitsu content. So right now, I'm taking a break from jiu-jitsu because I have an ankle monitor and I have to be on probation and stuff. But overall, life is good. And if any of y'all are watching this and you are one of my friends, close friends that know me personally, just know that I would never do anything to hurt you. I would never do anything to hurt you, your kids, your family. I was just crazy. I was literally crazy. I was out of my mind. When people go through psychosis, they don't generally get to the point where they are trying to hurt people. It was literally an accident. It was an accident. And it is what it is. But because I did what I did I have to be held accountable. It is what it is. And so the person that I did that to, he had the right to call the cops and be like, hey, this guy did this. And they're like, okay, so he's being charged for the crime. So during my time in jail, we were in a program called Legal Education and Development. And so what that is that they teach you the things of the courtroom that you should know before going to court. Because if you don't know, you'll be held incompetent, deemed incompetent, and you will have to go to a state hospital for however long. And that wait time can be 600 days easily, over a year or 2 years. And then so they taught me the terminology because, for example, the words charge, indict, and convict all mean separate things. So there's some words that in the court system that you have to know so that you can know what's going on in court. You have to know what prosecutor is. You have to know what defense attorney is. You have to know that the prosecutor is also the DA. You have to know that there's two kinds of trials, a bench trial and a jury trial. Bench trial is for the judge. The whole point being, I learned all this information and it helped me better understand how to handle myself in court. So overall, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was a little bit educational and hope, please don't judge me for what I did. I didn't mean to do it. I sort of did do it. Hopefully they have a not guilty by reason of insanity plea. I'm not sure. So right now I'm on pretrial probation. And what that means is that I got out of jail sort of early so that I can dismiss my case. I'm not sure my case can be dismissed. But overall, I'm doing a lot better. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you like the content and I'll see you in the next video.